Looking to trade your old bulk for some of the latest Pokemon booster boxes? Well, check ccgcastle.com. The process is very simple. Send in 1400 cards and get a brand new sealed booster box back. We ship boxes worldwide for free once we get your cards. Make sure to check video description or check ccgcastle.com for more informations. How's it going, Pokefans? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at Passimian Mew budget version of the deck for the current standard format. So, as you can see, Passimian is a 110 HP fighting Pokemon with a team play. So basically, this attack can does 30 damage for each of your benched Passimian in play. Theoretically speaking, with 4 Passimians on the bench, Mew can hit for 130. With help of Choice Band, it can go up to 160, and with Kukui 180. That's the max damage we can do with this build. Mew can also use Passimian attack with the Memories of Down as long as ability is not locked, and also with Encounter we can search our deck for any Pokemon put into our hand. So I'm not running any sign of Tapu Lele because this is a budget version of the build, so I'm also going to run one on Oranguru for Instruct and 2 copies of Remoraids and 2 copies of Octillery with that Abyssal hint. So 13 Pokemons in this list. From some other cards, mainly item cards and supporter cards, I'm running 1 copy of Enhanced Hammer because it's a very good card and it can be usable multiple times with Puzzle of Time. In addition to that, 1 copy of Escape Rope because Escape Rope can always provide us with the victory, that's for sure, and I kind of like it. Especially if we stuck with Octillery in the front and we don't want to pay retreat cost, we can always Escape Rope and play Puzzle of Time multiple times for it. 2 copies of Field Blower for the Tool and Stadium Clearment, 2 copies of Nest Ball featuring 4 copies of Ultra Ball for the Pokemon support, of course for the searching. In addition to that, 4 copies of Puzzle of Time and my Tapu Lele in a Random Receiver version. So yeah, I'm gonna run 2 copies of Random Receiver in this build because with the Random Receiver I can just draw cards until I manage to get first supporter card and put a supporter card into my hand. So that's gonna be my budget Tapu Lele, and that's 25 cents a card instead of 40 bucks. So yeah, imagine how good that is. 2 copies of Rescue Stretchers, 1 copy of Special Charge. In addition to that, I'm running also 1 copy of Town Map so I can see my prize cards. 4 copies of Ultra Balls and 3 V Seekers. Of course, there is no reason for 4 of them because I'm running Puzzle of Time and I can always have supporter card if I need. Then 2 copies of Skyfields as a Stadium so I can have more than 5 Pokemons on my bench. Of course, Sudowoodo will be very problematic for this deck, but yeah, we can always one-hit knock out at Sudowoodo, that's not a big deal. Speaking about some other cards that we have in this build, I'm running plenty of supporter cards, so let's just start with the Hex Maniac, running 1 copy of Hex Maniac for ability abuse. Of course, 2 copies of Lysander. I was also thinking about 3 of them because I'm running Random Receiver, so it would be nice to play Random Receiver into Lysander. That would be like Tapu Lele play. Also 3 copies of N for the Drought support, as well as 4 copies of Sycamore, and of course 1 Kukui for extra 20. This deck list definitely needs to have something like Pokemon Ranger in it, because if we face Giratina or Jolteon, we're not going to be able to win that matchup, so we definitely need something like Pokemon Ranger so we can remove all effects of attacks from our Pokemons in play. I also decided to add 1 disruptive version of card, which is a Team Skull Grunt. In some situations, Team Skull Grunt can actually help a lot, especially in the late game, where our opponent is on a very limited resources. We can easily play Team Skull Grunt and discard his energies from his hand, but it's also very good if we can pull it on turn 1 or maybe turn 2, so you can just discard our opponent energies. I decided to go with at least 1 disruptive card, and I decided to take Team Skull Grunt. Of course, the second one is Enhanced Hammer, but Team Skull Grunt makes a lot of sense because it's a very nice card. Also, I was thinking maybe even taking Team Rocket Handiwork, because you can also maybe try to deck out your opponent in the late game, because it will take a lot of time to knock out 6 Pokemons for your opponent, especially if they need to 2-hit knock out Passimians or Mews. So even handiwork would make a lot of sense. In addition to that, of course, one copy of Teammates, because it's too good card for a deck like this. Even 2 Teammates wouldn't be bad. One copy of Choice Band, 2 copies of Fighting Fury Belts, and 1 copy of Floatstone for tool cards. And of course, only energy cards in this build I'm going to run are going to be 4 copies of Double Cores energy cards, and that's it. That's the budget version of Passimian Mew deck that you can build for a couple bucks. Especially if you have all of these cards from before, and I actually like it. One of the best budget builds that you can play in the standard format, no question about that. So if you're looking for any of these cards, make sure to check ccgcastle.com. Also with the TCG Center 5 code, you can get 5% discount on your first purchase. If you're looking to trade your old bulk for some of the latest boosted boxes like Evolutions, Sun and Moon, Guardian Raising, or maybe even Burning Shadow, you can also do that on ccgcastle.com. Just make sure to check my video description for more informations. And that's pretty much it. So let's try to play one game with this deck so you can actually see how this deck works in action and what's the main strategy of this deck. So see you in the game. Alright, so let's do this. In today's video, as you can see, I'm playing with Passimian and Mew, and I also have opportunity to start first here, which is a big deal. So I definitely see my opportunity in setting up properly. Ooh, I don't like the fact that I'm gonna play against Giratina. This might be very problematically for me, but hopefully I can set up before my opponent manage to Chaos Will me. But even if he Chaos Will me, I can always recover pretty fast. So let's go first with the Nazball for 1 Remoraid, because we really want to have that Octillery. Ultra Ball, of course, for something like, let it be also, let me see, do I have Floatstone? I don't, it's priced, but there is, however, Escape Rope. Well, I'm gonna need those Passimians, actually, to knocks out his Dratini before he even managed to use that Dragon's Wish. So let's go with the Sycamore for 7. Choice Band as the first card here. More than that, I'm definitely going to play my Puzzle of Time. I hate when this happens. Puzzle of Time is a top deck. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Let's just pass the turn for now. Ultra Ball top deck for Octillery. Then I can actually even play my Kukui in this situation. Or maybe not, because my opponent will just immediately decide to play his N. At least, with energy attached to Dratini, he might not be able basically to evolve his turn 1 here, so he might just decide, who knows, maybe even to retreat down to Giratina, but that's definitely not a smart option. But at least if he decides to do that, he can absorb 1-hit knockout, so it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. I'm thinking about playing that random receiver maybe into the... Ooh, Lysander. Okay, that's good. That Lysander play will be very huge here, because I can 1-hit knock on my opponent, Dratini, and I'm also gonna play that Field Blower. Maybe I force my opponent to put another Stadium in play. Alright, there we go. So 7 damage counters. That random receiver is actually my budget Tapu Lele, and it was definitely good right now. So there's a double Dragon Energy, and there is Dratini for my opponent. Well, I'm thinking about Sycamoring for 7 right now, of course. Of course, there's going to be Lysander play down to my Remoraid, no question about that. Meaning only one thing. Ooh, Octillery as a top deck. Let's do something like this. Shall we? A Beazle hand for 2 with another Remoraid on the bench. Let's see what we can find with the Team School Grunt. Ooh, oh, that stinks. Really it does. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't actually do this. That Team School Grunt was completely disaster. But who knows? My opponent actually decided to ends. This definitely does not make too much sense to me. I would probably just keep going on and attacking with the Chaos Wheel with the Double Dragon Energy, but he decided not to do it. So I managed to drop myself a Float Stone and also another Double Chorus Energy, which is going to be very important in this matchup. There is no question about it. Plus I also have another Ultra Ball available in my hand, which can even allows me to go with something like, ooh, Hex Maniac, nice. Let's do something like this for now. Escape Rope play first. I will try somehow to get that Mew in play with a Choice Band and Double Chorus Energy. Of course, if he promotes Darkrai, it's knocked out, so he definitely don't wants to do that. So yeah, crazy things are gonna happen right now with that Ultra Ball for another Octillery. And right now I can Abyssal Hand twice. I can also Instruct once, so yeah, that's a huge thing here. A Fighting Fury Belt and Mew. So we're definitely gonna attach Fighting Fury Belt, and we're definitely gonna go with the first Abyssal Hand. Ooh. Yeah, not good. Anyways, let's retreat. Let's play the Choice Band. And let's actually Ultra Ball for 2 copies of Mew into the nothing. I might drop somehow Dead Enhance Hammer, which might be a good disruption card for the next turn. Oh, there is a Skyfield in play. And right now I actually have opportunity to put my Mew. I still didn't play supporter card, so I'm definitely gonna go with Kukui for extra damage counter here and use my team play. Will not be enough for the knockout, but it's still 100 damage counters. Which means next turn I might be able to knock out his Giratina back. Of course, before he plays right now plenty of energy cards and took the knockout against my Passimian in the front. Okay, there is Hoopa. In order to take knockout against my Passimian, my opponent will need 150 damage counters, and I can definitely tell you one thing, this is not going to be possible with Giratina, so he definitely wants to attack me with his Darkrai. But if he attacks with the Darkrai, then I can still attach my Double Chorus Energies, and that's a huge disadvantage for my opponent. Of course, if he even wants to retreat, either way he needs to pay 3 energy retreat cost or find himself a Stadium card. And still I'm then in much better position. Alright, another Giratina and another Shaymin. Of course, he can use the full potential of the Skyfield right now in play. And how the things looking right now, he's definitely in not good position. So there is Professor's Leather, however. I think he will probably definitely wants to go for the knockout here with one of his Darkrays on the bench. Oh, nice. Nice. I'm just gonna throw out one of my Octilleries. I still have Mew for that next turn for the free retreat in the worst possible scenario if he managed to scrap my Float Stone. And there is Professor Sycamore for 7, so he's still not over here. Again, I'm wondering, maybe he managed to find a Fighting Fury Belt if he plays, and something like Field Blower to scrap my tool and to hit me with the Chaos Wheel and lock my opportunities to play special energy cards. Plenty of Darkrai setup, but we are definitely going to exchange price for 2 prizes, and he paid 1 retreat cost for that huge Dark Pulse for 220. Whew, that's a lot of damage counters. Which only means one thing, I'm gonna need that Passimian in play so badly. So I'm definitely gonna go with my teammates. And you can guess for what. For Rescue Stretcher and for that Double Chorus Energy, at least for now. So I can put my Pokemon back to my bench, which is gonna be Passimian. How many damage counters I can do with team play? 30, 60, 70. Yeah, I have enough for the knockout, so I'm definitely not going to complain. I can steal Ultra Ball, which I'm definitely going to do. I really want to get rid of many cards as I can from my hand. And I'm also searching for that enhanced hammer. There we go, there it is. So I can scrap that double dragon energy. That was very important right now. And I can still go with my abyssal hand. And the good thing is that I also have town map right now, which means one thing. I'm going to retreat into my Passimian and knocks out my opponent Darkrai with that team play for 200. And of course took myself another Passimian and something like a Puzzle of Time. Alright, there we go. So, what's gonna be the next step for my opponent? Will he... Oh, he decided to promote Darkrai. Of course he can retreat for free with him as long as he have Altar of the Moon in play. And there is one huge Tapu Lele, so this might be for N, which is not that good. So he decided to go for the Sycamore. Whew, he's probably going to deck out himself out right now. And probably... Yeah, I mean, even if he managed to knock me out with his Giratina, it's too late because I can respond knocking him back with another Passimian for 70. So he just decided to Dark Pulse for the prize and hope that I'm not going to be able to power up another Passimian here. Well, we shall see. 30, 60, 70. That's like 10 plus 30, 60. That's 70, 80. So I definitely need that choice band. No question about that. Or I can even knock him out with the Kukui. But I really want to be ready for the next turn in case of the Chaos Wheel. So I'm gonna definitely play my teammates for something like this. Alright. So how many energies do I have in my discard pile? I have 3 of them. So first I'm gonna play my special charge. Second thing I'm gonna do, it's going to be a Puzzle of Time. You can guess for what. It's going to be for Enhanced Hammer. And oh no, it cannot be for Enhanced Hammer. It needs to be for a Choice Band and for the Double Course Energy. Alright, I mean, I can still even play my Abyssal hand, which I'm definitely going to do. There's just a Nazball and another team play. This time, again, for 200. I mean, without Choice Band, unfortunately, I cannot hit for so many damage counters. Without Choice Band, or actually with just a Fighting Fury belt, I could go technically for the knockout with Kukui, but then I wouldn't be able to find maybe those 2 Puzzle of Times and probably lose the match. But at least right now I have that Double Course Energy available on my Passimian, which means all I really need is another Passimian to be recycled back into my deck, or actually onto my bench, and more than that, Kukui for the knockout. Okay, there is a Lysander for Octillery. So he might just decide to stall third here and deck me out. And actually that's gonna happen because I cannot take that Float Stone. So that's a shame. Let's see. Alright, let's go all in basically here. Taking a Field Blower, discarding my Stadium, and my... I don't need to discard my Fighting Fury belt. Why would I do that? Random Receiver for the N. I can still play N. I still have like 2 double cores energies available, but I'm looking forward to finish this game at this turn. And that's basically impossible to do it right now. So what I can do here is mainly just play Puzzle of Time to rearrange the double cores energy as a top deck, and next turn pay retreat cost with my Remoraid to knocks out my opponent Tapu Lele, which I'm probably going to do. Not a Tapu Lele, but he's Giratina on the bench with my Passimian. Okay, so it's my turn. He just passes, which means I'm going to grab that Lysander, and I can Lysander his Giratina for the victory here by paying retreat cost on my Octillery and finishing the game. I could even knocks out his Dratini, or actually Dragonair on the bench. I could even knocks out his Darkrai, but decided to go for that Giratina. And yeah, unfortunately for my opponent, that's GG. I mean, Passimian with Mew is a very good deck. And I kind of like it. For the budget, it's definitely the best build and the best deck that you can build these days. And also, 90% of the decks, 90% of the cards in this deck will just stays, and it will survive the rotation. The only cards that we are going to lose after the rotation are going to be VS Seekers, Skyfields, and Lysanders. But those cards can, and of course teammates, but those cards can easily be substituted with double Skyla, with triple Guzma, and of course with some other stadium cards that we have in play, for example. But yeah, I mean, I still like it, and it's a lot of fun to play with it, especially in current standard format. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this budget version of the deck for today's video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Let me know also in the comments below what you think about it. So stay tuned for more upcoming videos. Till the next time, have a nice day, and goodbye.